अपने सिंक्रोनस मशीन के अभी तक 3 लेक्चर लिए हैं। उन तीनों लेक्चर में सिलेंड्रिकल रोटर टाइप सिंक्रोनस मशीन की स्टडी की है। बेसिक सी पहला जो अपना लेक्चर था उसमें बेसिक मशीन्स क्या होती है, रोटर के अकॉर्डिंग मशीन को कैसे 2 पार्ट में डिवाइड कर सकते हैं, सिलेंड्रिकल रोटर और शेल एंड पोल टाइप सिंक्रोनस मशीन में, और उसके वर्किंग प्रिंसिपल्स क्या होते हैं। बेसिकली मैग्नेटिक लॉकिंग वर्किंग प्रिंसिपल सिंक्रोनस मशीन काम करती है। सिंक्रोनस मशीन ऑलवेज सिंक्रोनस स्पीड पे रोटेट करती है, उसके अलावा दूसरी स्पीड पे रोटेट नहीं करती है। तो अपन ने इसको एक्सप्लेन करने की कोशिश की। इसके साथ साथ ही अपन ने सिंक्रोनस मशीन का इक्विवेलेंट सर्किट डायग्राम, सिंक्रोनस मशीन का फेजर डायग्राम्स। दूसरा जो लेक्चर था अपना, दूसरा जो सिंक्रोनस मशीन का लेक्चर था उसमें सिंक्रोनस मशीन के ओपन सर्किट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, शॉर्ट सर्किट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, जेडपीएफसी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, पोटियर ट्रायंगल और पावर फ्लो इक्वेशन मींस पावर एंगल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, पावर इक्वेशन। पावर इक्वेशन में एंगल डायल पे कैसे डिपेंड करता है और डायल की मैक्सिमम वैल्यू कहां तक की जा सकती है, ये डिस्कशन किए थे। तीसरा जो लेक्चर था उसमें पावर फ्लो, आउटपुट पावर, रियल पावर, रिएक्टिव पावर, इनपुट पावर टू द सिंक्रोनस मोटर, रियल पावर इनपुट, रिएक्टिव पावर इनपुट, इन सब पे डिस्कशन किया। इसके अलावा वी कैरेक्टरिस्टिक, ओ कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ सिंक्रोनस मशीन and how you can operate the synchronous machine at the different excitation with the constant load. Means overexcited, underexcited. When the motor is underexcited, when the motor is overexcited. When the motor is overexcited, you work is synchronous condenser. And synchronous motor can be used for dual purpose. It the load and as a in synchronous motor can be work as a load as well as reactive power generator. So it is used as a dual point of view, dual purpose. So these all the things we will discuss in the all 3 lectures. आप यदि इन तीनों लेक्चर्स में से नहीं गए हैं, उनको नहीं देखा है, तो डेफिनेटली पहले वो 3 लेक्चर्स को देख लें, तो आपको बेसिक्स बहुत जो है सिंक्रोनस मशीन की जो बेस है, फंडामेंटल्स है, कर्व है, कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है, उसकी फेजर्स है, उसकी इक्वेशंस है, वो आपको बहुत अच्छी तरह से बेहतरीन तरीके से आपको समझ में आ जाएगी। तो नेक्स्ट ये वाला लेक्चर है, इसमें अपन डिस्कशन करने जा रहे हैं शेल एंड पोल सिंक्रोनस मशीन। और इसके शेल एंड पोल सिंक्रोनस मशीन के लिए एक स्पेशल थ्योरी होती है, उसको बोलते हैं टू फील्ड रिएक्शन थ्योरी। टू फील्ड रिएक्शन थ्योरी, ये भी 2 टाइप की थ्योरी होती है। तो टू फील्ड रोटेशनल थ्योरी, वो तो सिंगल फेज की इंडक्शन मशीन को समझने काम आता है, और ये होता है टू फील्ड रिएक्शन थ्योरी, जो सिंक्रोनस मशीन को एक्सप्लेन करने के काम आता है। तो आज अपन पढ़ेंगे टू फील्ड रिएक्शन थ्योरी, नॉट द रोटेशनल थ्योरी, not the rotational theory, it is reaction theory. So two field reaction theory will study and go through that. I have 22-year experience, मेरे को 22 साल का एक्सपीरियंस है इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियर्स को पढ़ाने का, डिफरेंट मशीन्स के ऊपर ट्रेनिंग देने का, प्रैक्टिकली उनको जो है सिखाने का, लर्निंग देने का, कॉन्सेप्चुअली बताने का। और आप मेरे इस एक्सपीरियंस से बहुत कुछ चीजें सीख सकते हो। मेरे लेक्चर्स के थ्रू जाओगे तो डेफिनेटली आपको उस एक्सपीरियंस का बेनिफिट होगा, उस एक्सपीरियंस को आपको गेन मिलेगा। डेफिनेटली गो थ्रू ऑल द लेक्चर्स ऑफ इंडक्शन मशीन, सिंक्रोनस मशीन, डीसी मशीन, ट्रांसफॉर्मर, एसी वाइंडिंग and DC winding, as well as I have so many lectures on the basic of electrical engineering and circuit analysis, power electronics, control system and all that, and some lectures are coming, they are in a pipeline. So I'll go through all the lectures and definitely you'll learn a lot of things in electrical engineering, lot of fundamental things in electrical engineering. So if you are not subscribe the channel. Otherwise you will subscribe and definitely share it, share with the friends, so that I will be motivated and you comment me if any difficulty, any the new things you want from me, definitely you can comment, I will be take care of you. So thank you. And now we are going to the synchronous machine that is salient pole synchronous machine. Salient pole synchronous machine. Working principle and its theory. To explain its theory, we required that theory which is two-field reaction theory. Two-field reaction theory. It is two-field reaction theory. To explain the base and the equations, the formulas of salient pole synchronous machine, well, to deal the machine with the two-field. You know, here the two reactions are there, because in salient pole synchronous machine, you can see from the structural diagram, you know, this is the stator, this is the stator, and now we are taking the 4-pole rotor. This is the one pole, this is the second pole, this is the third pole, and this is the fourth pole. So this is the one pole, this is the second one pole, this is the third one pole, this is the third pole, and this is the fourth one pole, fourth pole, fourth pole, fourth pole. So okay, all these poles are here. Okay, all 4 poles. This is known as direct axis, D axis, direct axis. This is also known as D axis, direct axis. And here with the axis which is passes through the interpolar region. Interpole means in between poles. In between poles, that is known as Q axis. Quadrilateral axis. And this axis also, that quadrilateral axis means Q axis. Here we can see the air gap. Here this is the air gap. Here at the top of the pole, this is the air gap. We can say this is the air gap. On the face of the rotor. This is the air gap only. This is the small one. This is the small air gap in between stator and rotor's pole. But here this is the air gap. This is the air gap, which is larger at the interpolar region. So definitely the leakage impedance, the magnetic flux, the reactance offered in the different regions, in the quadrilateral axis, in the direct axis, it differ, totally differ, not the same. But in case of cylindrical rotor synchronous machine, as I have explained already, the air gap is similar, it is the same, so that the total flux at any point on the stator is the same, because there is no any difference in the air gap, there is no any difference in the reluctance offered, there is no difference in the armature reaction, there is no any difference in the leakage reactance. Okay, but here the armature reaction is different at the different places. So there are two different places, one the rotor face, other is the interpolar region. One is the direct axis, other the quadrilateral axis. So we have to explain the theory on the basis of these two axes. So definitely that these two axes, and we'll try to explain that theory. Okay, so how we can explain that? So we are taking the simple, this is the FF, this is the FF main flux, this is the EF, this is the EF, the voltage, this is the EF, the voltage. This is the current, as we know, this is the phasor diagram of normal machine, that is normal means uniform air gap machine, means cylindrical rotor synchronous machine. So this is, okay. So here we have to divide this current into two components. One is this current. So here the armature reaction is FAR. So this armature reaction also have to divide into two components. This current also have to divide it into two components. So this armature reaction is, one component is this one, another component is this one. So this component is known as FAQ, quadrilateral axis component. That is non-flux and 90 degree to that main flux it will quadrilateral axis. So this is, and this current is known as IQ current. The component of IA in this direction is known as quadrilateral current. This the angle in between these two is, this angle is known as angle psi. Okay. And here this the field armature reaction is FAD, direct axis, or it is also known as demagnetizing. Okay, so this is the current, that is ID. It is also known as demagnetizing current because it is just 90 degree, or just opposite to the main field. So this armature reaction also having the two components. One is the demagnetizing, other is the cross magnetizing. So the one component is FAD, the demagnetizing component, other is FAQ, cross magnetizing component. So this is the resultant component. So it is similar. Similarly, we can represent this the cross magnetizing component, this the demagnetizing component. Similar the way we can represent like this also. So this is the FAQ cross magnetizing component of armature reaction. This is the demagnetizing component of armature reaction. This is like this. This is the resultant FR, and here the angle that is del in between these two. Okay, so this is the simple way we can bifurcate the current into two components. Current into two components. One is a demagnetizing current component, means ID, another is a Q magnetizing IQ. Similarly, the armature reaction can be divided into two parts. One is the armature reaction in the direct axis, and another is the armature reaction in the quadrilateral axis. So, two armature reaction component and two current component. So, these two components that divide the armature reaction, armature current into two components. So, these two components give the more correct representation of armature reactions. So, okay. Let's take the the voltage. So the voltage is here. This is the voltage, that is VT. This is the voltage, that is VT, and the angle in between these two is del. Del is the angle in between EF and VT, and angle in between IA and VT is theta, that is the power factor angle, and this is the psi is the resultant angle, total angle, that is the synchronous angle or air gap angle. Okay, so this is the voltage VT, this is the voltage VT. So here the in simple machine, this is the EF, this is the VT, this is the IA. So the component of armature reaction is VT 90 degree to the IA is IA axis. This is the IA axis. IA axis. But here the two components. So the one component is 90 degree to ID. This is the ID is 9. So the one component which is 90 degree to the ID is known as IDXD. Okay. Another component which is 90 degree to the IQ. So this is EF. And this component is 90 degree of IQ. So this is XQ, IQ, XQ. Okay. So this is the total value. Okay. Now, if you want to find out the formula and relationship, the value of the current, these two currents, direct axis current and quadrilateral axis current, then we can easily find out. We can easily find out these currents. How we can find out? You know, this component is equal to this component. So this is O, this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is the D. Okay. Okay. And this is the OC is nothing, it is VT. OC is nothing, it is VT. VT. So we are taking the component of VT in the direction of OA. That is OA nothing. OA is nothing, it is VT. VT cos del. Cos of del. Okay. AC is nothing. AC is nothing, it is VT sin of. ओके अपन अभी पढ़ रहे थे सिंक्रोनस मशीन का टू फील्ड रिएक्शन थ्योरी। उसमें क्या किया था कि करंट को अपन ने दो पार्ट में डिवाइड कर लिया है। करंट को दो पार्ट में कंपोनेंट में डिवाइड कर लिया, एक आई क्यू करंट है, एक आई डी करंट है। आर्मेचर रिएक्शन को दो कंपोनेंट में डिवाइड कर लिया, एक एफ ए डी है, एक एफ ए क्यू है। ऐसे ही जो आर्मेचर रिएक्शन के दो कंपोनेंट हो गए, एक डीमैग्नेटाइजिंग, एक क्रॉस मैग्नेटाइजिंग हो गया है। ओके, अब अपन इसको यदि फॉर्मूले के फॉर्मेट में फिट करना चाहें, फॉर्मूले के रूप में रखना चाहें, तो क्या करेंगे कि अपन इसकी वैल्यू को कैलकुलेट करना चाहेंगे। ये वैल्यू यहाँ से आएगी और ये वैल्यू जो है ये वैल्यू से आएगी। तो इस VT जो कंपोनेंट है ये एंगल डेल बना रहा है VT, तो VT का कंपोनेंट लेंगे तो इसके AD की वैल्यू आ जाएगी। AD इज इक्वल टू VT sin of del. This VT sin of del, and that VT sin of del, that is AD, which is equals to CB, which is equal to CB. This is equal to CB, and that is equal to IQXQ. Okay, so from that these two are equal, so we can find out the value of IQ, that is equals to VT sin of del divided by XQ. So this is the equation number 1. Equation number 1. We'll find out the one equation. One, the current, that current is IQ. The IQ current we'll find out. Secondly, we can find out the value of the component, that is AB component. So we know the AB component is equal to nothing, it is OB minus OA. So AB is nothing, it is CDC. AB is nothing, it is IQXQ. IQXQ is equal to OB is nothing, it is EF. It is EF minus OA is nothing, it is VT cos of del. VT cos of del. So therefore we can say it is IQ is equal to EF minus VT cos of del divided by IQ. So this is the equation number 2. We'll find out from this equation. So this is the way we find out two equations, two different currents. Now if we want to find out the power out from the synchronous machine, then we know if this is a voltage, this is the voltage and this is a current, and this current having two components, one in this direction, this is the current and this is the voltage. So this is the current I and this is the angle theta, so this is the I cos theta, and this is the component of the current, that is I sin theta. If we find out the value of the component real power, that is P, that is V I cos theta, means the direction of current in the direction of voltage gives the real power. And if you want to find out the reactive power, then the V into I sin theta, that gives the reactive power. So this is the basic concept. Real power means the component of voltage and current in the same direction. We will multiply the same directional voltage and current component, and give the real power in the 90-degree directional voltage and current multiply gives the reactive power. So in this way we can find out the real power and reactive power. So here also we will try to find out the real and reactive power. How we can find out? That is, we will find out P, that the voltage component in this direction, current component in this direction. So the current component in this direction is IQ, and voltage component in this direction is VT's component, VT cos of del, plus the current component in this direction is ID, and voltage component in that direction is VT sin of del. Put the value of IQ and ID from equation number 1 and 2. So the value of IQ is this one, VT sin. So this is the VT and VT square, sin and cos. So this is sin of del, cos of del divided by x cube. Okay, plus ID this one, so it is EF minus VT cos of del divided by x cube. Not here, this is not x cube, this is x. This the value, it is IDX cube. This the value is IDX, not there, it is IDXD. So this is IDXD. Okay. So this is the ID. You know, this is the value. This is the value which is AB. So this is the value of AB. Okay. So this is the EF minus VT upon XD. This is the value of ID and VT sin of del. We'll put the value. So this is the EF. We'll put over here EF. This is the AB. This is point is A and this point is B. So put over here. Okay. No problem. No issue. So this can be write down. VT square. So we are taking 2 multiply and 2 divide. So this the 2 sin A cos A. 2 sin A cos A is becomes. So it becomes VT square sin 2 del divided by 2x cube plus EF VT sin of del upon XD, EF VT sin del x minus VT square, cos and sin becomes twice, sin 2 del divided by 2xd. Okay, so this is the value. This can be further simplified and give the value of the power. Okay, so before we are erasing this one, we'll give the formula for the reactive power also. We'll write down the formula for reactive power also, then simplify this one. So the reactive power Q is equal to the component of the voltage in this direction and current in the opposite direction, current 90 degree. So the current is IQ and voltage in that direction is VT sin of del. plus voltage in the current in that direction ID, and voltage in this direction is Vt cos of del. This is the reactive power. Okay, we'll find out later on. Okay, so here we are taking the real power P is equal to EF Vt upon xd sine of del plus Vt square by 2 sine of del, sine 2 del. So remaining terms are 1 upon x cube minus 1 upon xd. So this is the value. So this is the real power. This is the real value of the power output from the synchronous machine. Now we'll find out the reactive power while putting the value of IQ and ID. So IQ over here, so it is Vt sine, and this is also Vt sine, so it becomes the Vt square sine square del upon x cube plus then ID is this one, EF minus Vt cos of del divided by xd not q, it is xd, and multiplied by the Vt cos of del. So it gives the value is equal to EF Vt cos of del upon xd. This is the xd, and plus Vt square, we are taking common, so it is sine square del upon x cube minus cos square del upon xd. This is the way. So this is the way we can find out the real power and reactive power of the salient pole synchronous machine by taking two-field reaction theory, by taking the two component of reaction, by taking the two component of the current, by taking the two component of the power, by taking our two component of active and reactive powers. So this is known as two-field reaction theory. Two fields reaction theory. So this is a very easy way to explain the salient pole synchronous machines working and its power equations. Now this is for the generator. Now we can similarly find out the equations for the motors also. So we are taking the motor, two-field reaction theory, similar applications for the motor also. So write down the equation for the motor, salient pole synchronous motor. Salient pole synchronous motor. So here it is, we are taking the EF. This is the current IA, and this the angle in between these two is psi. Component of the current in this direction is IQ, and component 90 degree to that is ID. Okay, so this is from EF, not from VT. So this is IQ and ID, the component of armature current in two directions. So one is the ID and other is IQ. Okay. So we know in case of the motor, Vt is equal to EF plus. In case of the motor, Vt is more. So Vt is equal to EF plus eta IQ x cube plus eta ID xd. Okay. So this is the EF plus. And in case of the generator, EF is equal to. So there is a difference in between these two. So this is the way we will try to explain. So here EF plus in the direction 90 degree to that. So this is ID XD. and this is 92 degree to that is IQ x q, and this is nothing, it is voltage Vt, it is the voltage Vt, and this is the angle del in between these two. So this is the component of I, this is IQ. Okay, nothing else. Okay, nothing else. And here the theta is equals to psi plus del. Here theta is the total angle in between current and voltage, that is psi plus del. Okay, nothing else. Now we'll try to give the formula relationship in between current and voltages and powers. So you know the component of the voltage in this direction is Vt cos of del, that is equals to EF plus IDXD. Okay. So IDXD means ID is equal to Vt cos of del minus EF divided by XD. Okay, equation 1. And you know the component of voltage in this direction is equals to, so it is equal to IQ x q is equal to Vt sine of del. So it is sine of del. This is the characteristic of the motors characteristic, synchronous machine, not this is the synchronous motor. Okay, so this is the second equation. So now the power input, motor taking the power is a power input. So the power input, the two components, one is the current, that is IQ, the current IQ, and the directional component is Vt cos of del. This is the Vt cos of del, and ID, and component in the direction of that is, the component in that direction is negative, minus Vt sine of del. Okay, so we'll put the value IQ. So here the value of IQ is Vt sine del upon x q. So Vt sine and cos becomes 1 upon 2 Vt square upon x q sine of 2 del plus this the value, and this is multiplied with this one. It gives firstly the value is the negative sign, minus, and then Vt square, and so it is Vt square by 2 xd, and sine 2 del minus plus EF Vt upon xd and sine of del. So this is the value of real power input of the synchronous motor. If we are taking the reactive power, then similarly we can find out the reactive power Q. That is also, reactive power is the component of voltage and current in perpendicular directions. So the current of IQ and voltage is perpendicular to that. Here's Vt sine of del, not cos del, it is sine del, plus ID, and component which is perpendicular to that is Vt cos of del. So put the value of Vt sine del and cos del, we can easily find out the equations. So in this way we can find out the equations for the reactive power and active power of salient pole synchronous machine by taking the two components of the current and two components of the voltage and two components of the power, the real power and reactive powers. So this is the way it is the base is the two-field reaction theory, the two fields, the two components. So this is known as two-field reaction theory, and this is the basic concept to understanding the concepts. So now we'll draw the power equations, the power equation and power characteristic, the power characteristic of synchronous alternator, synchronous machine. Power equation. You know, this is the power, this is the real power, this is the value of the real power. We'll draw the characteristic for that power. So the real power equation of the synchronous machine can be written down like this one. The real power equation can be written down like this one. P is equals to EF upon XD, not Q. The D is higher as compared to Q. D, the man with the leakage reactance on the direct axis with the higher value as compared to the quadrilateral value. It is 5 to 10 times, 5 times more than, 5 to 10 times more than XQ. Okay, so this is the XD, that is the man reactance, which is higher. So this is the man power, sine of that. This is the man power of the synchronous machine, and the second power is this one, Vt. It is taking 1 upon 2. It is taking 1 upon 2. We are taking 1 upon 2. 1 upon 2 Vt square. Vt square XD minus XQ. So 1 upon XQ minus 1 upon XD. Here we are taking the minus of that or plus of that in case of generator out. Generator. It is in case of the motor, it is minus, otherwise it is plus. Sine of 2 del. Okay, so this is the value of power in case of synchronous alternators output power. We will draw the characteristic. It is the one characteristic, this one. This is the one power characteristic, this one. And other power characteristic is this one, having the twice of the angle. So it is lesser in value, but its alteration, it is lesser in value, but it repeat twice. It lesser in value, but it repeat twice. Okay, this is. So this is the two frequency, twice of the angular values, the two component. Resultant if we are taking, then here the value is going to increase and here the value is going to decrease. Here the value is going to decrease. Okay, so this gives the maximum value over here, which is less than 90 degree. This is dial is equal to 90 degree, which is less than 90 degree. And for the salient pole synchronous machine, at the stable region, and this one unstable region. So this is the case of synchronous machine. Its stability and its power output, its acceleration, its power is higher as compared to the normal cylindrical rotor synchronous machine. The power output is higher, even though the higher power can be generated at the lower angles. Smaller value of the angle, it can generate the higher powers in case of the cylindrical rotor. But if the stability is less than 90 degree, the higher power output is possible at the level lower than the 90 degree. It depends upon the value of xq and xd. So this is the value. So this is the way we can explain the power output characteristic of the salient pole synchronous machine. Now how we can find out the xd and xq of the salient pole synchronous machine? How we can find out the xd and xq? So to find out the xd and xq of salient pole synchronous machines, find out the xd and xq, will test that is known as slip test. You know, slips are not take place. There is no any slip in synchronous machine, but name of test is slip test. So there is a test that is known as slip test. Slip test. Normally slips are take place in induction machine, but this test is performed on synchronous machine. So this is the slip test to find out. This slip test is performed to find out xd and xq and xd. To find out or to determine xd and xq. So how we can determine xd and xq? Okay. So to do this one, we rotate the synchronous machine slowly, that is very slow speed we are rotating, and find out its current and voltage. It is excited at the rated value, but it moves with very slow. So we can easily find out the variation in the voltage and variation in the current when it passes through the d-axis and q-axis. When it passes through the d-axis and then q-axis, then d-axis, then q-axis, then d-axis, then q-axis, then d-axis, then q-axis, then d-axis. If it passes through the q-axis, d-axis, q-axis, d-axis. So when d and q, there is a variation in the voltage and current. So that variation will be find out. So that means the synchronous machine are just oscillating. And just oscillating, when it is just oscillating, it produces the voltage cycles are like this one. Means voltage oscillations waves are like this. Voltage oscillating waves are like this one. It is voltage oscillating waves. Voltage variation will find, whether the oscilloscope will find, and current, find out the currents are like this one. Here current is higher, here current is low, here current is higher, here current is low, here current is higher, here current is low. Currents are just opposite to that. Here current is higher, here current is low, here current is low, here current is higher, here current is low, here current is higher, like this. That is. So we are taking the 2 points. This is the voltage waveform and this is the current waveforms. This is the 1 point and this is the second point. This is the 1 point and this is the second point. At 1 point voltage is less, current is high. At 1 point voltage is less, current is high. And at the second point voltage is high, current is low. So we are taking the ratio. So 1 is XD. Direct axis. When the machine passes through the XD, it is at the second position. The point 2. When the current passes through the point 2, so the voltage is maximum, and when the current is minimum, armature current is minimum and field terminal voltage is maximum. Voltage is maximum and current is minimum, and the ratio of these two is give the XD. And when we find out the XQ, it is 0.1. So at the point 1, what is voltage? Terminal voltage is minimum and current, armature current is maximum. Okay. So put these values from the oscillator, from the oscilloscope graph. We can easily determine the value of XD and XQ. We know XD is higher as compared to XQ because it is a direct axis reactance. So the direct axis reactance, direct axis voltage is higher as compared to quadrilateral axis reactance and voltages. So this is the way we can easily find out the direct axis reactances, and this is. ओके, सो आपने इस लेक्चर को बहुत इंजॉय किया होगा। आपको सेलिएंट पोल सिंक्रोनस मशीन की टू फील्ड रिएक्शन थ्योरी समझ में आई होगी। ये बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट थ्योरी है और बड़े बड़े लेक्चर्स और जो बड़े बड़े प्रोफेसर्स इस थ्योरी को ढंग से एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर पाते और बच्चों को अंडरस्टैंडिंग डेवलप नहीं कर पाते हैं। लेकिन मेरे इस लेक्चर के बाद मुझे लगता है कि जो बच्चा इस लेक्चर के थ्रू जाएगा या गया है उसको ये टू फील्ड रिएक्शन थ्योरी बड़े ही आराम से, बड़े मजे से, बड़ी मजेदार वे में, इंटरेस्टिंग वे में समझ में आई होगी। और नहीं आए तो इस लेक्चर को दोबारा से रिवाइज करें। आखिरी में देखने के बाद डेफिनेटली आपको समझ में आएगा कि मेरे सारे लेक्चर के थ्रू जाए। आप लोग चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें, दूसरे फ्रेंड्स को मोटिवेट करें कि वो भी सब्सक्राइब करें और आप लोग इसको एंजॉय करें। मेरे सारे सब्जेक्ट देखें, दूसरे सारी मशीन्स को भी पढ़ें। डेफिनेटली इसी तरीके से मैं आपको बहुत सिंपल लेस लैंग्वेज में सारी चीजों को एक्सप्लेन करता हूं। मैं शीश राम ओला पिछले 22 ईयर से इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग स्टूडेंट और फैकल्टी मेंबर्स को डिफरेंट एरिया, डिफरेंट टॉपिक, डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल सब्जेक्ट्स में ट्रेनिंग दिया है और कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जामिनेशंस के लिए और उनकी करियर इंटरव्यू के लिए तैयार किया है। आप लोग भी इसमें एंजॉय करेंगे और तैयारी करेंगे। थैंक यू, थैंक्स ए लॉट।